Over 20% of all delegates for the Democratic Party will be awarded during the Super Tuesday contest today, but some may be worth more than others. One America's Ryan Hoefle tells us more about what exactly is a superdelegate and what part they play in selecting the Democratic nominee.
You may have heard pundits throw the term around more than a few times.
Of superdelegates.
That's because of superdelegates.
Clinton has the support of New Hampshire's superdelegates, these party insiders.
As the race for the White House continues, a lot of the talk on the Democratic side is where the superdelegate support will end up when it's all said and done. But before we get into all that, let's break down what exactly is a delegate and what makes some so super. As Democrats around the country head to the polls for their respective primaries and caucuses, the results of those contests determine how many delegates a candidate will have supporting their campaign during the party's nominating convention. Whoever has the majority of delegates behind them will face off against the GOP's choice in the general election. Now, there are a total of 4,051 delegates up for grabs, making 2,383 the magic number for Democrats. And as of now, Hillary Clinton has a commanding lead in the delegate count, despite close contests in the early voting states. Take New Hampshire, for example.
Thank you, New Hampshire.
Now, the Sanders campaign stole the show in the Granite State with a decisive 60 to 38% win in the popular vote. But the delegate count looked a lot closer than the landslide victory for Sanders. Out of the state's 32 delegates, Bernie ended up with 15, but so did Clinton, leaving just 2 still undecided. Now, this is where the math gets a bit tricky. Democrats have set up their primaries so that they award pledged delegates, ones that are determined by the popular vote, like Bernie's 60 to 38 win, as well as unpledged delegates, better known as superdelegates. Now, out of the 32 in total, New Hampshire has 24 unpledged delegates to his name, as well as 8 superdelegates. All of Sanders' 15 were the unpledged variety, and Clinton took the remaining 9 of those. But Clinton took home the support of 6 superdelegates, and those other 2, as we said before, remain undecided. Meaning, despite Bernie's big win, both campaigns walked away with essentially the same prize. That's because superdelegates aren't tied to what the voters want. They're tied to and pick and choose whichever candidate they wish to support. These superdelegates are voters assigned to one person chosen by Democratic leadership and are usually high-ranking members of the party.
I do not believe in my lifetime anybody has run for this job at a moment of great importance who was better qualified by knowledge, experience, and temperament to do what needs to be done now to restore prosperity.
And some are more famous than others. Former Presidents Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter are superdelegates, as well as current President Barack Obama. There are 717 superdelegates in the Democratic Party, making up 15% of the total delegate count, meaning they have some serious pull as to who will represent the party once the race goes national. And Clinton has a big lead in superdelegates currently with 449 committed supporters compared to Sanders' 18. 247 superdelegates are still undecided.
But if they continue to overwhelmingly back Clinton, Bernie Sanders would have to win every remaining primary by a landslide just to catch up.
Now, but that superdelegate support puts Clinton on shaky ground because they're not set in stone. Unlike the unpledged variety, superdelegates can switch their support for Hillary from Hillary to any other candidate anytime before the convention, just like they did 8 years ago when a young up-and-coming senator from Illinois dethroned Clinton as the face of the Democratic Party on his way to the White House. But this time around, the Clinton camp is making sure that nomination doesn't slip through her fingers after her team worked hard to build her big lead in the delegate count early on in the race. Now, as the push to gain and keep those critical superdelegates gets more intense, we'll make sure to keep a close eye on the campaigns. And here in studio for One American News, I'm Ryan Hoefle. Back to you at the desk.